Pardon the abrupt ending on part number 1. I ran out of battery power on my phone. Okay, so here's what we got going. The width of these clamps is 7 millimeters, okay? And the width of this particular hose barb is 12. So you really only have room for 1 in the middle. 2 would be too much, and this is the straight fitting, but it's the same relationship, meaning right under there is the barb. So that'll be one of these really strong crimp clamps will be sufficient. As it is, I sat here and pulled as hard as I could. I mean, using a ton of force, and I could not move this hose even a tiny bit away from that. And there's such a large barb there. That barb really grabs the inside right there of the rubber hose. It's an ideal size fit. So the idea is, like I think 7.9 millimeters on the 5/16 hose here. That is the right size, by the way, for the Mercedes oil cooler lines. And it was the same on the V6 in the 320 as it is on the V8 in the ML. Okay, 5/16 line to fit the barbs. Now, depending on if you had a factory hose, I think this is an aftermarket one that somebody put on the car. On the ML, I believe they were original, and they had a series of barbs. Not quite as distinct as that, but several. And there was more room because the whole thing was a bunch of barbs, all the same diameter. So therefore, you could put 2 clamps side by side. On here, I'm only going to do 1. All right, and then when you do the other side, you got to be careful to put the nut on. Well, the spacer, they give you this little spacer thing. If you have it, you can reuse it and put on the hose. Put your nut on first, of course, before you put it'll go like this. It'll go nut, and then the clamp, and then push the barb in, and then the nut goes over it. Okay, so just keep in mind, and I'll do that all off camera, and then show you the result. Okay, let me turn the light back on. 1 sec. There we go. Better lighting. Okay, this one I crimped. You can see how it's highly pinched together there. That was pretty much bearing down on it with those crimping pliers that come with the clamps as hard as I could. And you don't want to hurt the thing, but it's super tight. So it's pinching into the rubber and well over the barb, and that's not going to come off. No way, no how. Over here is one that's been placed but not crimped. This is the other end. You can see it's uncrimped, meaning I haven't grabbed it with the pliers and pulled hard in the middle. But if you do decide to use these clamps, one thing to understand is you got to slide the clamp on the hose first, then you push the barb in, and you got to use a socket of the correct diameter to push on the inner part so you can get the hose 100% on there. And you see it's the end of the hose is directly up against the metal stop part on the barb. And then you're going to push the clamp over. The fatter part there is where the internal barb is. So it's a matter of taking a flat screwdriver and slowly working the clamp over it. Because as it is now, this clamp is very tight on here. You're just going to increase its tension and really put the pressure-proof seal by hitting it with the pliers, which I'll do just now, and then show you the result. You just basically put those ears, or put the jaws of the pliers on either side of that part there. Me doing it one-handed here. I'm going to obviously have to, maybe I'll set the thing down. I'm not sure if I can get it. I don't have a stand here like the fancy YouTubers do. Okie doke, we got her good. It's fully crimped. Same as the other one. You can see it's digging into the hose like a clamp you tighten real good. And there you have it. There's your high pressure, fully rated, rebuilt passenger side e320 tranny cooler hose. Ba-doom boom. This is the radiator end. The cooler is built into the radiator, so you're going to put that in the radiator, and this just snakes down beside the engine, hooks into the hard line mounted part that runs beside the crankcase. Alrighty, I'll try and get a picture of that on the vehicle. Thanks for watching these. Hope this is of help to y'all. And remember, if you don't have this clamp set, you could absolutely use a regular type hose clamp. That would be doable. These are maybe a little slicker, a little neater way to do it. Obviously, probably the same level of tightness, but maybe even a little tighter. Alrighty, fabricated hose, the one you just saw me make, is on, no leaks. I haven't test driven it yet because the fan's not in, but I did start the engine and put it in gear and so forth. And we are leak free. There's your radiator clamp side of the hose. And goes underneath the car. And we'll show you what it looks like under there. And here's the one I bought, the Rain brand. Yep, so I could find the one and the other one I had to make. No big, they both should be good to go. Quick underside look and then I'll say goodbye. Okay, here's where they connect. You can see the fabricated hose right there on the right side of your screen. Little clamp that I put on it right there. Okay, and then there's your 19mm nut, and that is a 17 that stays on the vehicle. Okay, that's on either side. I won't show you the other side because it looks the same as this, only reversed. 17 and 19, those are the 2 wrenches you need to take loose and to reattach the line. Alrighty, and I used to see this always kind of had a, whenever I come down here for an oil change or just to look, it would always have some ATF kind of lightly dripping from there on both sides. And I'm just hoping that doesn't happen again. I don't think it will with these new hoses, but it's just kind of disquieting. And the ATF level in the tranny never changed, but you're always wondering, it's always in the back of your mind, if the hose is going to go on you. But at least now they're both brand new. And of course, any part of driving an older 22-year-old vehicle like this is just always do regular checks, because problems normally develop slowly. They don't just all of a sudden happen. Alrighty, thank you kindly for watching, everybody. Take care. God bless you. Hope you have fun driving your antique Mercedes. Yep, my saying is I'd rather drive an old Mercedes than a new anything else. Bye-bye.